Welcome to the channel. We're so glad you're here. If you're watching this video, let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from. We love hearing from our amazing viewers around the world. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on our upcoming special content tomorrow. Stay tuned for more exciting videos, and remember, your thoughts and feedback mean a lot to us. Let's make this journey even more exciting together. A sick pit bull was about to be euthanized until this happened. It was a sunny Saturday morning when Lucy, a 7-year-old girl, found herself at the local animal shelter with her mom, Jessica. The day had finally come after months of pleading, and Lucy couldn't wait to pick out the puppy she'd dreamed of. As they stepped inside the shelter, Lucy's eyes lit up at the sight of so many animals, each with their own unique personality. Some barked excitedly, while others sat quietly in the corners of their cages, waiting for someone to notice them. But as they walked through the rows of dogs, something caught Lucy's attention at the far end of the room. A pit bull named Max lay motionless in his cage, barely lifting his head to acknowledge their presence. His fur looked dull, his ribs visible beneath the thin coat. There was something in the way he lay there, so still, so quiet, that tugged at Lucy's heart. She had seen many dogs at the shelter, but none had made her feel this way. "Mom, look at him," Lucy whispered, pointing to the pit bull. "He looks so sad." Jessica knelt down beside her daughter, her heart aching at the sight of the sick dog. "Sweetie, he's very sick," she said softly. "I don't know if we can help him." But Lucy shook her head, her small face filled with determination. "He just needs someone to love him," she insisted. Lucy's words were simple, but they carried the weight of her deep compassion. She had been dreaming of this day for months, but now, standing in front of Max, she felt a stronger connection than she could have ever imagined. Before Jessica could respond, a shelter worker, Mr. Harris, approached them with a solemn expression. "I'm sorry, but this dog, Max, is scheduled to be euthanized today," he said, his voice heavy with the sadness of his words. "He's been here for too long, and his condition is worsening. We've done everything we can, but no one has come forward to adopt him." Lucy felt as if the ground had shifted beneath her feet. "Euthanized?" she echoed, the word hitting her like a punch to the gut. Her heart raced as she looked at Max, knowing that if no one stepped in, he would be gone forever. Lucy stood there, her heart pounding as the shelter worker, Mr. Harris, spoke those devastating words. "He's scheduled to be euthanized today." The reality of the situation hit her like a wave, and for a moment, she couldn't breathe. She had come to the shelter with one goal in mind, finding the perfect puppy, but now she was faced with something far more serious. Max, the pit bull who lay motionless in his cage, wasn't just another dog in need of a home. He was a dog whose life was about to end unless someone intervened. "Please, we can't let him die," Lucy pleaded, her voice shaking. She had never felt so desperate in her life. The thought of Max, so sick and frail, being taken from this world without even having the chance for a loving home, it felt unbearable. "He needs someone to love him," Lucy whispered, her words heavy with emotion. Jessica, her mother, looked down at her daughter, torn between logic and the raw emotion swelling in her chest. She could see the intensity in Lucy's eyes, the way her little hands gripped the edge of the cage as if holding on to the last thread of hope. Jessica wanted to tell her that it wasn't possible, that they couldn't save him, that it was time to let go. But when she looked at Max, his sad, tired eyes staring back at her resolve began to crack. Mr. Harris shifted uncomfortably, clearly feeling the weight of the decision. He glanced at Max, then at Lucy and Jessica. "I know it's hard, but this is the best we can do," he said quietly, but Lucy didn't back down. She stepped closer to the cage, her tiny hands now reaching through the bars, trembling with uncertainty, but also with a fierce determination that caught everyone off guard. Max didn't flinch. He didn't growl. Instead, he blinked slowly, as if he had sensed the little girl's kindness and resolve. It was a small but significant moment. Lucy's heart raced as she stared at Max, and without thinking, she reached out her hand toward his trembling face. The air was thick with tension, and Jessica held her breath, unsure of what would happen next. Would Max pull away? Would he respond to Lucy's touch? But Max didn't pull away. He simply sniffed her fingers, his eyes softening ever so slightly. It was a quiet, fragile moment, but in that instant, something shifted. There was a connection between the two, one that couldn't be ignored. Lucy looked up at her mom, her eyes wide with determination. "Mom, please," she whispered again. "He just needs me." Lucy's hand trembled as it hovered just inches from Max's face. Time seemed to stand still in the dimly lit room of the shelter. Max, the pit bull who had been resigned to the fate of euthanasia, didn't flinch or pull away. Instead, he blinked slowly, as if to acknowledge the little girl who had dared to reach out for him. His eyes, once cloudy with illness, now seemed to brighten ever so slightly. In that brief moment, Lucy felt something stir inside her, a sense of urgency mixed with a strange, powerful feeling that she couldn't quite explain. She wasn't going to let him die. Not like this. Her eyes never left Max as she turned to her mother. "Mom," she whispered, her voice shaking but firm. "He just needs someone to love him. We can't let him die alone." Her words were simple, but they carried a weight far heavier than her small frame could suggest. Jessica, standing beside her, could feel the tears threatening to fall, her heart torn between the harsh realities of the world and the fierce determination shining in Lucy's eyes. Jessica knelt beside her daughter, gently placing a hand on her shoulder. "Sweetheart," she said softly, trying to explain, "sometimes we have to make hard choices. He's so sick, and we can't always save them. We don't know if we can help him." But Lucy wasn't listening. Her gaze was locked onto Max, and her small voice, filled with emotion, interrupted her mother. "We can help him, Mom. I know we can." Jessica looked at the frail dog, his body still and his breathing shallow. It broke her heart to think that this dog, so full of potential for love, was about to be taken away just because no one had stepped forward. But Lucy believed. She truly believed that this was the moment, the turning point. If they didn't act now, Max would never know what it felt like to have a home, to feel loved. With shaking hands, Lucy pulled out a crumpled piece of paper from her pocket. As she unfolded it, the sight of the child's drawing made everyone pause. It was a picture of a dog, with a heart above its head, and next to it, in wobbly handwriting, were the words, "I'll be your friend." Lucy held it up to Max, her eyes never leaving his tired, pleading gaze. For the first time, Max moved. His eyes followed the paper, and then, in an almost imperceptible gesture, he shifted closer to the bars of his cage. The connection was undeniable. Lucy turned to her mom, her voice quiet but determined. "Please, Mom, we have to take him home." The room fell silent, the weight of the decision hanging in the air. Lucy's hand still rested on the bars of Max's cage, her fingers lightly brushing against his fur. Her small body trembled with a mixture of hope and fear, her heart racing faster with every passing second. Jessica stood beside her, her eyes flicking from Lucy to Max, the frail dog who seemed so fragile, yet had somehow connected with her daughter in a way no one had expected. The reality of what was happening began to sink in. This wasn't just about adopting a dog, it was about saving a life. Max's breathing was shallow, his ribs still visible beneath his thin coat, and yet there was a flicker of life in his eyes. It was as if Lucy's belief in him had sparked something within him, something that hadn't been there moments before. She wasn't just asking for a dog. She was asking for a chance to give Max the love and care he so desperately needed. The chance to prove that even a dog like him deserved a future. Jessica looked down at Lucy, her eyes full of uncertainty. "Sweetheart, this is a big decision," she said softly, her voice thick with emotion. "He's so sick, and we don't know how much time he has. Can we really take him home? Will we be able to help him?" The doubt in Jessica's voice was palpable, but Lucy didn't hesitate. Her face was full of resolve, her small body standing taller than ever. "Yes, we can help him," Lucy whispered, her voice steady with conviction. "He needs me, and I need him. He deserves a chance, just like any other dog." Jessica swallowed hard, the struggle between logic and emotion pulling at her. She had always taught Lucy that making tough decisions was part of life, but this was different. This wasn't just about choosing a puppy, it was about choosing to fight for a life that seemed all but lost. And Lucy, with her unwavering determination, had already made up her mind. Jessica looked at Mr. Harris, who had been standing by silently, watching the scene unfold. He met her gaze, and for a moment there was a flicker of understanding between them. He nodded slowly. "All right," he said softly. "You can take him home." Max's future was no longer uncertain. Lucy's belief in him had given him a second chance. And as the shelter door opened, Jessica and Lucy stepped out with Max, ready to give him a life full of love, warmth, and care. It was a new beginning for all of them. The drive home was quiet, the air thick with anticipation. Lucy sat in the back seat, her hands tightly gripping the seatbelt, her eyes never leaving Max, who lay on her lap. The pit bull, once so frail and lifeless in the shelter, now rested peacefully, his breathing slow but steady. Lucy couldn't believe it. Just hours ago, she had stood in that shelter, watching as the life of this dog hung by a thread. And now, he was coming home with them, ready for a second chance. A chance that almost never was. Jessica drove with one hand on the wheel, glancing back at Lucy and Max through the rearview mirror. Her heart was full of relief, full of hope, but also full of uncertainty. Could they really help him? Could they give him the love he needed to heal, both physically and emotionally? Jessica didn't know the answers, but seeing the way Max looked at Lucy, the trust in his eyes, made her believe they had made the right choice. At home, as Jessica opened the door to let Max in, the reality of their decision hit her. It wasn't just about saving a dog. It was about giving Max the life he deserved, a life filled with love, safety, and care. And it wasn't just about Max. It was about Lucy, too. This little girl, with her unwavering belief in what was right, had saved him. She had given him the chance to live, not just exist. Max took his first tentative steps into the house, his body still weak but determined. Lucy knelt beside him, speaking to him softly, as if reassuring him that he was safe now, that he was finally home. Max lay down on the soft rug in the living room, his eyes flicking between Jessica and Lucy. For the first time, he seemed at peace. His body relaxed in a way it hadn't been in a long time. As the evening passed, Jessica found herself watching Lucy and Max, seeing the bond growing between them, stronger with each passing minute. It wasn't just about the dog. It was about a little girl's kindness, a mother's love, and the unexpected way their lives had been changed forever. Max had found his family, and Lucy had found a lifelong friend. It was the beginning of a new chapter for all of them. In that moment, Jessica knew that sometimes the smallest gestures, the smallest acts of kindness, could change everything. And she couldn't be prouder of her daughter, who had given Max a second chance at life. We'd love to hear from you. What did you think of Max's incredible journey? Do you believe, like Lucy, that sometimes all it takes is one person to make a difference? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We know that stories like Max's can touch hearts in different ways, and we're curious to hear how it impacted you. Have you ever experienced a moment where you believed in someone or something when no one else did? Maybe you've seen the power of compassion change someone's life? We want to hear your stories too. Please feel free to share your own experiences or any thoughts you have about animal rescue and the importance of giving a second chance. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and let us know what other heartwarming stories you'd like to see. Your feedback means the world to us and helps us bring more of these powerful, emotional moments to life. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you won't miss out on any of our upcoming content. We have so many more stories like this one coming your way, and we can't wait to share them with you.